CBP data shows that over 30,000 Chinese migrants have entered California since October. That is an 8,600% increase since fiscal year 2021. Florida Congressman Greg Steube joins me now. Congressman, first, your reaction to that absolutely astounding figure.
Yeah, China's the #1 national security threat to the United States. It would not be surprising that your enemies are going to look to ways to thwart your defenses. Why not send 30,000 people, military-age males, operatives into the United States? Because they all know, the entire world knows, that our border is wide open. You add that onto the 20,000 that have come in since Joe Biden's been president. It's over 50,000 Chinese Communist Party individuals that are in our country that I'm sure are communicating with one another. That's on top of the 30-something thousand Russians, people from Afghanistan, you name it, all over across the world. Our enemies realize that our southern border is wide open, and they're going to take every advantage and exploit it.
So to be clear, Congressman, you do not believe that these 30,000 Chinese are here simply for a better life. You think there is something else behind the scenes to them being here.
No, absolutely not. And look at the number. I mean, 30,000 just since October. And if you look at that compared to the number in the last 3 years, there was only I think it was 25,000 since Joe Biden took office. So they're seeing that they're able to work with the cartels in Mexico to get operatives into our country. It's not a coincidence. Our enemies see the failures of Joe Biden at the southern border and the failures of him on national security issues and see this as an opening to get operatives into the country. There's other nations all across the world that are doing it. There's Iranians that have come into our country, people from all over the world that hate us, that are coming here to do us harm, and Joe Biden is doing absolutely nothing about it. And in fact, he's encouraging it. He's taken 64 executive actions since he's been president to open up the southern border for political purposes.
Okay, so Congressman, what do we do about it?
Well, we're not going to be able to do anything until Donald Trump is elected president in November and takes office in January. He can reverse the 64 different things that Joe Biden has done, put back, remain in Mexico, finish building the wall, do things to build up our national security. Congress passed H.R. 2, our border security bill, over a year ago, but Chuck Schumer's not going to take it up because you've seen cities and states that are run by Democrats try to allow illegal immigrants to vote. This is a complete political motivation for them. So Chuck Schumer's not going to change it. He's not going to change the policies that we had in place, that we passed in the House that would change all of this. He's not going to allow that to be heard in the Senate. So the only way to truly change this is to elect a new president, Donald Trump, into the White House in November.
In a word, it's terrifying and it's existential, and we better wake up. Meantime, leaders of South Korea, China, and Japan are set to meet today for their first trilateral talk since 2019, as reports emerge that we, America, are actively preparing for war with China. We're doing some war games. Question for you, Congressman, do we war game everything, or is the fact that we are war gaming China now a clear sign we are anticipating some kind of conflict?
Yeah, we've been wargaming China invading Taiwan for years. It's been something that the Chinese Communist Party obviously believes that Taiwan belongs to them. The Taiwan leaders will tell you the threats. There's been over like 500 or 5,000 different military sorties from the Chinese Communist Party into Taiwanese airspace just in the last couple of years. Again, they see the weakness in our White House. They saw what this president did in Afghanistan. They see what's happening in Ukraine. They see that we're leaving our ally Israel and sending money to Hamas through humanitarian aid. They see all of this, so they're looking at an opportunity to invade Taiwan. They've openly talked about Taiwan belongs to them, and if you talk to a Taiwanese leader, and with all of these different military sorties into their airspace, they're very, very concerned.
Congressman, finally, it is Memorial Day. We have 15 seconds. You're a veteran yourself. What does Memorial Day mean to you?
Well, let's just remember Memorial Day is not a day of celebration. It's a day of solemn remembrance to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. I'll be in Charlotte County today in multiple different events speaking for Memorial Day, and it's just to remember those that we lost. We wouldn't be the country we are without the freedom and the patriotism of those that served our country.
Congressman Greg Steube, we thank you for your service, and we thank you for your time this morning.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.